So, this wasn't a big deal. This was something that we did all the time. Me and my friends we got a little crazy in TV media. We'd kind of gotten a bad feeling from what had happened yesterday. We didn't mean for anybody to get hurt, but ultimately somebody got a little hurt and we were a little worried that there might be some repercussions. So we're sitting around and the phone rings and it's Tyler's call. So Tyler leaves, takes his stuff, never comes back. And we're starting to think this is about yesterday, but we're not sure until Jordan gets called. So Jordan leaves, doesn't come back. 15 minutes later, TJ gets a call. TJ leaves, doesn't come back. And by the end of class, it's me and my teacher and Brad, who's another accomplice, just sitting in the room. Nobody else is there. We leave for second hour, and as soon as I sit down, I get my call. So I head down to student services, and I meet the dean. I get led into this really tiny room, 5 feet by 5 feet probably. And the first thing he does is ask me why I'm there and what I'm getting in trouble for. The first thing I do is I ask for immunity. He denies my request, and then I just had to tell him what had happened. So it was a normal, typical Monday morning. We were trying to think of new ideas for things to put in our little slapstick videos. So I get out the camera, I'm shooting everything, and Rachel comes in the room. So Tyler asks Rachel if we can tabletop her. And she has no idea what it is. So we demonstrate, we tell her what tabletopping is, and we even show her like someone actually gets tabletopped in the process. You have two people standing there talking, and a third person comes in and goes down on hands and knees, on all fours, right behind the victim without them noticing. The victim's facing the other direction, doesn't see any of this happening, and the person that they're talking to then shoves them over the table. And after we show her, I'm still shooting everything, and TJ gets down on all fours and becomes the table, and Jordan pushes her over the table. So she gets up, she goes out of the room, she's got some carpet burn on her elbows, poor baby. I originally was supposed to be sentenced with 1 day in school suspension, but I instead was cut a deal for 5 lunch detentions. And the rest of the guys most of them were not as lucky as I was. Tyler was given 5 days out of school suspension, and he was kicked out of the class for being the mastermind. TJ was given 3 days in school suspension for being the table. Jordan was given 5 days out of school suspension for pushing Rachel over the table. And Brad, who was nothing to do with physical altercation, wasn't filming, was just in the room and was given 5 lunch detentions. I look back on that day, the tabletopping incident, really fondly, actually. It was really fun to get called down to the dean's office and pretend I was a badass, I'd done something, really hardcore. So no, I think that day actually probably gave me the wrong kind of a lesson to have learned, because after that day I definitely took more risks. In school, I wasn't as afraid of the authority, or as afraid of getting in trouble, and I don't know. I think I might have had more fun after that day, and I don't think Rachel was really that negatively affected by it. I think that I don't know. I hope maybe today she could look back on it and laugh, because God knows I do.